palla ke eng nyaope e gore ha ngwana le mmona a etsa so le be le motshwere le palla ke eng ntho e le padisang gore bana ba senyega ka bongata ngata le gona bana ha ba feditse ha ngwana ka gola ko sekolong le re o gotse a tswe go tswa ga ngwana o le la tseba gore na ngwana o le o ile o senyega na ngwana o ile o senyega ba nyakeleng sekolo sa gore ngwana o godile mo a lokele mo sekolong se le re wena o tlo ya ko sekolong sele ngwana a kgone go ya ko pele ke fella mo
Siyabonga mama. Yebo papa.
Good day, sir. My name is Steve Mnisi. I come from Mamelodi, Ward 17. Good morning, Deputy Police. My problem with the police, I just want to ask, we are all here to help the police so the police can help us. What is it that is so difficult to the police to arrest all the drug lords? If they can tell us their problem, maybe we can help. But in a sense that we are also trying to assist. But in the subs, there is also rotten potatoes in there. And then another thing is that why we South Africans staying in unsettled formal settlement, while the outsider, the SADC people are occupying sunny side and they don't pay anything there. Why these people are occupying Hillbrow, they don't pay anything. Why are we to suffer and sit in the informal settlement? To the minister, deputy minister of Home Affairs, deputy minister, I'm not sure that you are aware that the officials in the offices there, they prioritize the SADC people because they have money. That's why the SADC people, they have RDP houses, and we don't have those houses. If you go there, you say, nyara, 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 nyara. You don't understand the language. Thank you.
Order. Let's have the second one. In that very same line, let's have that one.
Yes.
Good morning. Good morning. All protocol observed. Thanks. Yes, I'm Ward Councillor Tian Kotze, Ward 37 in City of Ekurhuleni. Just a few issues regarding Alberton Home Affairs. Over the years, there's been quite a lot of complaints regarding efficiency at Alberton Home Affairs. There's always long queues. Also, there seems to be no will to act on the undocumented immigrants in the Alberton area. There's quite a lot of them, and there's just no action being taken to formalize or to deal with the issue. And then Alberton SAPS. Over 50% of the vehicles at Alberton SAPS is out of order, or they're in workshops. So
Honorable Councillor, you'll have an opportunity more than the ordinary people. Because you are a councillor, you can still have an opportunity to come and engage. Let's allow this one. Mama Siguwe.
Sanbonani mphakathi. Igama lami ngufeke Yasin wakaGadebe e-Ward30 eWhiteville.
No papa sila. Sigumama la. Sorry papa, sikuwe mama.
Dumelang. Naki Jennifer Motswane, with 24, Diza Butini. Renali problem ka Home Affairs. The officials sa Home Affairs. Corruption engata itoma mo. They are paid by foreigners to get permanent residence, more South Africa. And they get paid up to 14,000 rand. So that's why corruption ilingata more South Africa. Nteabu is true. South Africans are not protected, but foreigners are protected. They've got money to do whatever they want. The police are under their payroll. They are using our children as young as 12 years to sell drugs. And the police are doing nothing. I'm a victim. I know what I'm talking about. Our children get raped. Nothing has been done about it. We report cases to the police. They are doing nothing. Our labs are also involved. They take blood from people who are raped. At the end of the day, they will tell you that bloods are rejected. How? We don't know. The case don't go forward. Our police are so involved to an extent that they will tell you in your eyes that they are underpaid. They are making extra money. I remember we have got so many unresolved that involves death of people. And the police who has the case will just change a job from another province to another because now he has been paid. I remember at one situation, someone gave me Bekitele's number. I had to call him, and at least the case was resolved. There are so many issues that we are facing, and nothing has been done. And you won't understand if you are not a victim, if you are the person next to you is not a victim. We have got many cases of children, young children, who get raped. They are scared to talk. They are even scared to talk to their parents because they don't want their parents to blame them. Me, I do door to door. I talk to a lot of people. People get killed. And we are voting for the same government time and time again. We are voting as members of the ANC, thinking the people we put there will help us, but we don't get help. Please help us. We are an angry society because we are raising angry children. Go to these kids who are street kids. Ask them why they are in the streets. They will tell you that it's either they were raised by a single parent who has a stepmother or a stepfather involved. That's why some of them are in the streets, helpless. They say cry. That's why our children do drugs. Nigerians are destroying our communities. One day we will be governed by people from out of this country. They are taking their children to the best schools money can pay, but they can't afford to buy medication for themselves. Our borders, people are living in South Africa, they don't have IDs. Their fingerprints can't be get, and we are blaming our own government for that because they are doing nothing about it, because they are not faced with these things. We as a community are faced with some of the things. We see them happening live. Our kids are destroyed. If the government don't do something about it, it's time that we as a community, we mothers who bear children must do something about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. May I request that bazali bami ngicela ukuthi sihlale phansi amanzi sewakhona sizowathola sonke. Mamelani Mamelani bazali, mamelani bahlali. Amanzi angithi ayafika eza ngapha kithi hlala la uhleli khona uphakamisa isandla azowathola amanzi. Sicela ke basize ke laba bakhipha amanzi benze njalo umuntu nakaphakamisa isandla umnikeze. Ngicela ukunikezela wena mama ngapha.
Morning everyone. Lo okhulumayo nguVivian okaNkomo. Ngibuya eWard 96 Mayfield ekuruleni. Nginethemba lokuthi namhlanje impendulo sizozithola ngoba kudala sibhala sireporta even nase legislature but ayikho into esitholayo alukho usizo esitholayo siloko sireporta sibhala izinto ezingapheli. Hoping that today you are going to help us. I-crime inkulu endaweni yokuhlala because amaphoyisa wethu asebenzisana nawo ama-culprit. Angeke ize iphele amaphoyisa asenza kanjalo. Ngicabanga ukuthi ugovernment naye manje makasukume athathe umthetho ezandleni nawo amaphoyisa la abotshwe. Sinama cases amaningi esiwareportayo endaweni zokuhlala. Ama-dockets aphelele emoyeni ayadatshulwa. Ama-case awayi ecourt umangale sekuthiwa i-case ikhanseliwe. Kube umnikazi engazi nokuthi icase ikhanselwe kanjani. Sibhlungu leadership lapho ngaphambili. Kuza kanjani ukuthi umuntu oyedwa just because they official acommit ama-crime amaningi kodwa angaboshwa. Sine proof, sinama-proof abuya esibhedlela ukuthi loyo muntu loyo ubulele. Sine proof ebuya emaphoyiseni ashoyo ukuthi loyo muntu ubulele. Just because namaphoyisa are involved kulama crime fanele ama-case nje aphelele emoyeni. Sicela ukuthi ke manje nisukume niyosiza endaweni yase-Mayfield. Baboshwe labo bantu. And i-police station yethu isekudeni kakhulu sihamba ama-kilometers siyo report and asi-police station futhi leyo. Yindlu yebhuni yakudala basebenzisa yona. Uhamba ama-kilometers and sihambe esigangeni masiyo reporta lama case sometimes awufiki nokufika lapho uyoreporta i-case yokureyishwa loyo muntu loyo mvulela i-case aphinda akuthole lapha endleleni akurape sometimes yakubulala. Ayikho into eyenzakalayo. Sicela ukuthi manje i-police station kisondele iye ebantwini. Ngicela ukuthi ke nenze i-follow up nge-police station yethu yase-Mayfield. And nginombuzo ngicela ukubhekisa lapho kini and ngicela impendulo kuwe. If uyovula i-case u-station commander akutshela ukuthi akana right yokubopha i-official ngabe umthetho onjalo ukhona na kusho ukuthi unikeza leyo official ukuthi aqhubeke enza amanye ama-case because unemali fanele adize aloku yenza ama-case abulala abantu akidnap abantu ehamba namaphoyisa. Sicela ukuthi nisincede.
Bazali bami bantu base Gauteng. Size la sizothola impendulo. Ngicela ukuthi senze kanje ngoba kunohlelo kufuneka silandele especially lokuthi siyodla kungaphakama ushukela kwehlutswayo. So uma sibheka amawashi ethu sesisondele lesikhathi sokuthi siyobalansa indimba okudingayo. Ngaloko ngicela ukuthi senze so kulesikhathi samanje. Nginikezele abahlonishwa la phambili bazophendula. Ngiphinde futhi ngisho ukuthi uma uphethe iprogram yakho siyaqhubeka noma sibuya after lunch ngokuxoxisana ngendaba ze-peace ne-security ezaseMzansi Afrika. So uma kwenzeka ungatholanga ithuba manje ngicela wazi ukuthi after lunch siyaqhubeka. Okwesibili ukuthi ngigcizelele ukuthi uhlelo lakusasa liyaqhubeka economic development ne-education. Namhlanje beku-home affairs namaphoyisa. Cela ukuthi ngokuzithoba nokuhlonipha nina nonke nikhona kule ndawo namuhla ngibize u-Deputy Minister we-Home Affairs azophendula emibuzweni le eseyibuziwe. Ngiyaphinda kakhulu futhi ngithi inkinga la funeka sikwazi ukulungiselela ukuthi sizokwazi ukuthi siyolungiselela impilo. Deputy Minister, over to you. Yebo sizobuya after lunch kusase peace and security sizobuya. Ngicela ngokuhlonipha okukhulu ke simnikeze ithuba lokuthi angakasho ukuthi sihambe siye lunchini. Ngicela silalele especially laba ababuze imibuzo. Imibuzo yenu iyaphendulwa, hlala phansi ulalele. Ayikakabi ready ilunch kodwa sizonazisa nase ready. Deputy Minister.
Good afternoon. Sambonan. Dumelang. Goeiemiddag. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for this opportunity to respond to some very, very good questions, some very, very hard questions, but certainly all of them very important questions. I want to just begin by telling everybody here that we have a number of our officials who are present here today, and this information is important to those of you who have very specific questions. So some of you have asked questions about particular people who are struggling with documents, who don't have birth certificates, who don't have ID documents, etc. Each case is different. So I can't stand here and address every single one, but our officials are sitting on the first, second, third, fourth row. If you could all just stand. These are the people responsible for home affairs issues, whether they are civics issues, whether they are complaints. The one councillor raised the complaint about Albertonse. Over there you will find the provincial manager as well, and you can please raise those specific concerns with the provincial manager. And I also undertake to go and have a look at the Alberton office as soon as I am able to. Issues you can address to that table of officials there, and they will assist you over lunch if that's okay. Thank you very much, officials. I want to address in generic terms those big issues that you have raised. I want to firstly talk about the children and birth certificates. Many people have stood up and told me about orphans and so on who don't have birth certificates. So I want to just explain the process so that when you leave here, you are also empowered to understand who is entitled to a South African birth certificate and who is not. Okay? So firstly, what you must know is that the law says that every child who is born must be registered at the Department of Home Affairs within 30 days of birth. If your child is not registered within 30 days of birth, that means that is a late registration. And we have a different process for late registration of birth. Children are very, very important, and legally there are very stringent provisions in our law when it comes to children. We cannot accept anybody but a parent coming to Home Affairs and telling us this is a newborn and this is my child. We don't accept just your word for it. We require your hospital records. We require proof that indeed the mother was pregnant, went to a hospital and gave birth. Hospital records are very important. If the parents are married to each other and you have a marriage certificate, it is easy for us to know who both the parents are, because there is an assumption that if the mother comes to Home Affairs, then the child belongs to the husband, unless there's been other issues. So we will then accept both the mother and the father because we have a marriage certificate. The problem comes when there is no marriage and the father comes with a child to Home Affairs. Firstly, the father cannot give birth. So there's no hospital record linking the father to this child. So what proof do we need? We will need a DNA test. The father can go to a hospital. They charge between 500 Rand and 1,200 Rand for a DNA test, which proves, no, it's just a biological reality that fathers don't give birth. It's just a biological reality. If we were to accept every man who came into our Home Affairs office and took him on his word that this child belongs to him, we may be facilitating kidnapping and trafficking of children. A link that you can prove on paper that this child is your child. The second issue relates to those who do not have parents. Somebody early on raised the issue of orphans, and this becomes a bit of a complicated issue, of course. To begin with, you are entitled to South African citizenship if one of your parents is a South African. So it can be either the mother or the father or both. So if the father is a South African and has a South African ID document, his child can be issued with a South African birth certificate. But as I say, we need proof that this person is indeed the father of this child. Usually a marriage certificate suffices, but in the absence of it, a DNA test result will be needed. Secondly, if you have a child who is born of parents in South Africa who are both foreign nationals, who are not South African citizens, this child is not a South African. A lot of people think that because children are born in South Africa, they become South Africans. That is not the case. The parents who the child belongs to should have been in South Africa legally, firstly. They would have a visa to show that they are entitled to be in South Africa. The child still has to be registered within 30 days, but we don't give that child a South African ID. We give them a record that they were born in South Africa so that they can take that birth record to their embassy and have the birth certificate issued from the country of origin. The same thing happens to South Africans who are living abroad, who give birth in other countries. Those countries give the South African parents a birth record. It's also called a birth certificate, but it's actually a birth record. They have to take that birth record and take it to the South African embassy so that Home Affairs can issue them with a South African birth certificate. I hope we are all clear on that issue. When it comes to orphans, and we don't know who their parents are, the first port of call is social development. You have to take this child to your nearest office of social development so that a social worker can look into the background of this child. If this child was, for example, a victim of kidnapping or trafficking, or whether in fact the parents genuinely died, these are things that the social worker will investigate and report. Once there is a social worker's guardian in the form of somebody who's adopted the child, a foster parent or something of that sort, then Home Affairs can assist the parent to assist the child. But before we get such a social worker's report and an outcome from social development, Home Affairs cannot assist. So that pertains to children who are orphans. I have already discussed the issues of young boys. Somebody raised the issue of saying that we have sons who have partners who are foreign national partners, and when they take their children to Home Affairs doesn't assist. It's because we don't have any evidence that the son is in fact the father of the child. So please, either we need a DNA test or we need a marriage certificate or something of that sort. It doesn't mean that if your son has a partner who is a foreign national that the child cannot be given a South African birth certificate. The child is a South African as long as one of the parent is a South African. So there have been suggestions around access to our services. I must admit, from where we stand, Home Affairs works under huge financial constraints. Our budgets have been cut year on year. As you may have heard, our various finance ministers talk about the difficult economic times that we are in. Our budgets have been cut. We cannot employ a single person in Home Affairs anymore. And the problem has been in Home Affairs is that we have worked from a very low benchmark in terms of the number of people who we employ. So if I give you a sense, just to compare, if you look at SARS, the South African Revenue Services, South African Revenue Services at any given time has between 17 and 19,000 staff members. And remember who their clients are. Their clients are only taxpayers. Home Affairs, whose clients are everybody in the whole country, whether you are a South African or whether you're a foreign national. Home Affairs has under 10,000 staff. And this leads to the kinds of situations that people were talking about, complaining about access and so on. The issue is less about officers than it is about staff. Home Affairs cannot operate without staff. And our staff numbers have been cut quite drastically. What is our strategy going forward? This situation is not going to change. If I were to be honest with all of you, it is not going to change in the next 5 to 10 years. Our budget is not going to increase tremendously to enable us to double and triple our capacity. What we have done is we have been discussing a partnership with our banks. The banks have said to us that they are willing to give us portions of their premises so that we can put a little Home Affairs kiosk there and actually deal with transactions such as your smart ID card and passports out of the banks. We believe that this is a workable strategy because most people in the country are banked people. Most people have access to malls where the banks have their premises. Home Affairs can't afford to go to malls because the rental there is extremely high. But if the banks were to partner with us, and if we were to have that many banks operating Home Affairs offices, mini Home Affairs offices, we believe that the issue of access will be addressed. We've also invested some money into what we call mobile home affairs offices, not the satellite scenario that Moses Masonda from Ward 45 Meadowlands spoke to us about, but certainly mobile offices which we can take to different areas on different days, etc. Our old mobile offices have been decommissioned because they're about 20 years old and they're breaking down and so on. We've together with the CARA Fund and other people, we've been able to purchase and invest in some new mobile offices that will be able to, when they come on stream, hopefully in the next 6 to 8 months, they will be able to process smart ID cards digitally. So we are eradicating the manual processes completely from Home Affairs. Many of you have raised the issue of foreign nationals in South Africa. I must say to you that between 70 to 80% of my time is spent dealing with issues of policy and also laws, but more so implementation of these laws with regard to foreign nationals. It's become a very politically it's become a very hot issue because of the way in which some politicians have been dealing with this question. I believe that we need to have a balanced approach to immigration and migration as a country. On the one hand, migration which is regular, which is lawful, can be a very, very important in driving the growth of our economy, particularly when it comes to people with skills, people who are going to invest in our economy, business people who are going to come and create jobs in our communities. But at the same time, migration can be quite devastating, as we've heard in some communities from some people. Now, it's fine to say Home Affairs must come and get these people and deport these people. That's fine. But if we see people who are in our inspectorate, we have the head of inspectorate sitting at that desk, and he'll be able to talk to you about his frustrations on a day-to-day basis. We have less than 700, am I right, Modiri? 700 inspectors, not for Gauteng, but for the whole of the country. 700. Now, it's just humanly impossible for us to be able to cope with the number of illegal migrants in the country. In any case, if you think about it very logically, assuming we deport 10,000 people tomorrow, do you think that by next week, at least half of them will have been back in the country? Yes. And the reason for that is, sometimes we mustn't deal with the symptoms, we must deal with the cause. And the cause is our porous borders. If you have a house and you have a big feast in your house, and your house is a beautiful house, it's a big house, people seem to be living with a lot of prosperity in your house, but around you, your neighbors don't have that much. And your house has no windows, has no doors. I think you're going to find that your house is going to be a very big party. But if you have issued invitations and you stand at the door and your doors are closed and your windows are closed and you say, only people with invitations can come into my house, you're going to find that there's some control. Many of you have raised the issue of crime. You know, no country can manage serious crime without effective border control. It is a fundamental premises, a fundamental foundation on which a sovereign country builds. If your foundation is not right, you'll find that there are problems along the way. You can have the best policemen, you can have the most dedicated staff in the police, but if your borders are not patrolled, if your borders are not secure, they are going to be ineffective. We must, all of us here, agree that regardless of the financial problems that we have as a country, we must urge our public representatives to give priority to secure border management. If it means that you flood the Ncop with letters, please do so. And I'm going to tell you why. For 13 months now, we have had a Border Management Act in the Ncop that has not moved. It has not moved. I don't mind. Maybe people don't like what is in the bill. They disagree. We can disagree. We can disagree. We can find other ways to deal with it. But just not dealing with the bill is not an answer. Our country needs secure borders. We are not a drug-producing nation. Drugs don't grow in South Africa. If people can come into our country illegally, then you must know that they can bring goods in illegally. If people can leave the country illegally, that means your cables that you were complaining of can be molten down and taken out of the country illegally. Goods that are stolen from our houses can be taken out of the country illegally. Cars that have been stolen can be taken out of the country illegally. All of it comes down to one thing and one thing alone, which is effective border control. And I think this should be a matter across party lines. I see our councillor there nodding his head. I don't know which party you belong to, but regardless of that, if you can urge your political party in whichever structures you are in to ensure that we deal with this matter as a matter of priority. As I say, we can disagree on the details. Maybe we don't want a border management agency, maybe we want something else. Let's talk. But let us as a country unite on this issue of border management. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry. Could I just say one thing, because I'm not sure if I'm going to be given another opportunity. Just one small thing, because some of you may also just leave. In our various Home Affairs offices, somebody said to us, reminded us that next year is election year. You can't vote without an ID document. Please, I have got figures here that in this province, there are about 94,000 IDs waiting for collection in Home Affairs offices. In the East Rand, there are quite a few in each of our offices, over 10,000 in each of the offices in the East Rand. I'm not going to stipulate the numbers, but if people have applied.
She said, we are expected here to come and listen to the people and not instruct them. I want to do that. South Africa is under siege in terms of crime and criminality. Our people do not feel safe, and they are not safe, and we can't we as politicians tell the people that they are feeling safe, whereas they are telling us that they are not feeling safe. What is fundamental from us as politicians is to close those gaps that our people are saying they are leakages that makes criminals to flourish in the Republic of South Africa. One of the issues that our people are raising is an increase in illegal immigrants in the Republic of South Africa. And they're saying that the state is doing nothing about that. And we need to respond to that. Because in my understanding, that question fundamentally speaks to the territorial integrity of the Republic of South Africa. And we must respond to that. And we must respond swiftly in terms of reversing, because when we took over in 1994, we became overexcited in terms of drafting that constitution and even policies that are there that destroys our borders. Many African countries are making mockery of the Republic. We must debate this matter. They are making mockery. They say, you won't be able to commit crime here. We are going to arrest you. We are going to give you sandals and shorties when you go to that jail. And you are going to organize your own food. But if you want hotels, go and do crime in the Republic of South Africa. We need to do something about this. That is an outcry of our people. And if it's an outcry of our people, because we are government of the people, by the people and for the people, let's do something about that. Let's seal South Africa. That is what is important. It's not populism. It is the mandate that we are given here. And the Ncop should process this mandate. Because if we don't listen to this mandate, we're not people's government. We are a government of the government. Let's listen. So they say, seal your borders. And we must seal them. In few days to come, I'm going to one of the African countries. I've already applied that I'm coming. And they know when I'm arriving, I must produce my documentation. And then they know the days that I'm going to stay in that country. They know the hotel that I'm going to stay at. They know the population of foreigners. Why don't we know the foreigners in our own country? So we need to respond to that question. We need to respond, because what kind of a government is not responsive to the needs and aspirations of our people? So this is the outcry. So we as the police, we are dealing with them. Those that are illegal and occupy our buildings in these particular cities, we are dealing with that. We have started here in Gauteng with Mashaba that we must clean these buildings. When I went to PE, these buildings are occupied. We found 20 young girls being drugged, being raped, and being trafficked. So what must we do as the police? We must clean them. And we arrest them and put them in Portsmouth. You know Portsmouth prison? Portsmouth prison in Cape Town is full. And these people did not volunteer to go to that prison. They were sent by the police. So what is fundamental is also for our people to do the job. Because the people on the ground are not organized. They are disorganized. You can't have a car parked in your street next to your house for 5 days and you don't report it. How come? What kind of a community member A car you don't know is standing 5 days in front of your house, you are keeping quiet. Stop buying stolen goods. You know that this fool doesn't own any shop. You know that thing. Is coming to sell a plasma television to you. You are buying it, you. So the vicious of crime is being fed by also you. As members of our community, we are making the job of the police very difficult. Because when that boy, which we know that smokes in Nyaupe, when he doesn't have money now to buy that Nyaupe, he knows where did he park that television in your own house. And when he comes back there in that house and is bad, he kills you and takes his cargo, the plasma, to sell, and then you say the police are not working. Is you invited criminal into your house by buying a stolen good? So this is a two-way process. The police that are corrupt, we are processing them. And I said to my staff, they must take all those direct things of the police. Here in Gauteng, we are processing them, all those who are thinking that they are corrupt. But you must assist us also as people. You must talk to the unions of the police. You must talk to the unions of the police. Because when we take a hard line on the police that are corrupt and want to take them out of the system, these unions, they are defending them. They are defending them. It takes a year to fire a person that you can summarize him within a month. Because you've got evidence. I mean, how can a police commission, for example, a commander of a station, we are trying to build an image of the police, but the commander of a police station is consistent, Chairperson, arresting this man every Friday and release him on Monday. He knows why he's arresting this specific man and releasing him on Monday, because he's dancing with someone in that house. So if we have evidence of that particular question, why unions, they defend such things? How can you build police officers that must break families and create more crime because there will be single parents and so forth? So I was saying, we from the police side, we're not here to tell you things. We are here to listen to you and take that as a mandate to Parliament. And some of these things, we are going to argue them in their own political parties to take a stand on these matters. But please, don't visit a criminal in Paulsmo and Mampur. Don't do that. We are making our job difficult because you send them things there and then they make the police station Mosach and also the prison. So with those words, we have listened. We are going to get the report and process it. Those specific police stations that you have raised, we are going to respond and have a program of action about them. But you are still going to give us time to speak maybe after lunch. So we are there now to make sure that we are listening to you and then we will respond. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to the Deputy Minister of Police. May I take this opportunity and call the MEC of Community Safety for Gauteng.
Thank you very much, Sanbonan. I won't be long because Deputy Minister have covered most of the things that you wanted to be covered. Ngicela ukuthi ngiphendule some of the questions that you asked, particularly on issues of volunteers who are volunteering and they're not paid, and when they've passed on, what happens? We have people who are called community patrollers. Those community patrollers, at the moment, we've got about 9,000 of them. We used to have 12,000, but some of them, batole imisebenzi somewhere, and we've cleaned the data now, and we now have about 9,000. Amongst those that are registered with us, abanye are deployed in schools as people who are assisting with security there. There was a time when there was a challenge about the budget at Department of Education, and I think there was a period when they were not paid, but that problem has been resolved because after the intervention by MEC Education and e-budget have been corrected, and but we have those that are not at schools. When they're deployed, ama crime hotspots, they are paid a stipend based on the EPWP program. And it's only a period at tease. No, school mangala baba engaged. And ganingi, they are monitored by police stations, meaning they need to go and sign a police station and be monitored by amapoisa ukuthi that deployed in that spot, and abachayisa they need to go ukuthi bahambe bayosayina ulula. They are paid based on that. The other ones, for those who perish emsebenzini, who are volunteers, and ngicela ukuthi silalele because people think that if you are a patroller, when ushona mhlambe yazigulela or something else happen, the state must pay you. It doesn't happen. Ayenzakali kanjalo. You only get paid, insurance only pay you if you died or got injured on duty. There's a certain amount that is paid for a person olimale on duty, and a certain amount of a person that died on duty. And that amount is paid to the family, but also there's intervention from the department to assist the family to actually bury those that have died on duty. One example is those patrollers that died in the Firnachen area, Orange Farm, and when they passed on, we took responsibility they were involved in a car accident. We took a responsibility to bury them, but also we took responsibility to pay out to the families because they've perished, and those that abasapila, they were also paid a certain amount of money. I think the other issues on drugs, the response is the same as the one that the Deputy Minister have Ibegile, but I think it is important for us to also report houses and drug dealers that have actually, that are selling drugs in the Wednesday. La Gauteng, in the past year, we have actually closed down drug labs as almost 20 in the past year, meaning we have dealt with the drug lords as opposed to arresting an addict who's also a victim of a drug lord. Yes, addicts ayabosha when they are found with a certain amount of drugs in their bodies, in exchange of them showing us where they bought those drugs. But to me, I resist. I still got to attend drugs. Unfortunately, got processed through courts, and some of them are forced to serve time up to about 2 years in prison. The other issue as a Tembisa and Diepsloot, not Diepsloot, Tembisa and Ivory Park. We agree with the community that there are challenges of crime in the area, and we have also agreed with the leadership in the area, which actually not next month, this month, We are focusing on them, and towards the end of November, we are going to have a crime summit because we really need to deal with issues of murder in that area. It's one of the two areas that have got serious problems of crime, and the stations have got challenges in terms of performance in the two areas. Yeah, we are going to focus on, actually we already started focusing on Swazi-In. Let me then address the issue of police corruption. Before I came here, Deputy Minister, we're looking at the number of police that are being fired from the system, fired as police officers because of corruption or other thing. In 1 year, in one financial year in this country, in this province, we've actually lost about 1,400 police officers. Some of them, they were fired because of corruption, and of course, there were those that abahambe because of ukula, etc. But it doesn't necessarily mean good asi address in the corruption yamaposa. We do. We request a community to please come forward with information, but also be prepared to write an affidavit so that the police who's involved in corruption is dealt with. And corruption, by the way, is not only to steal money from you, it is also to neglect umsebenzi wakho when you are expected to do your job. When a case is reported, you expect it to be investigated, and the perpetrator iboshwe, process it through courts and be sent to jail for a long time. So if there is a person like umama lo umntwana who was raped and there is no action, these are the cases that we are saying, bring them to us on behalf of you as a member of your community. Will act against the police that is involved in that. And actually, I've asked the officials to talk to Umama Lo, and I think she was number 2, about what happened to Ikesiak. Deputy Minister. Yes, there are challenges in terms of vehicles that are deployed in our sectors. Initially, we are supposed to have 2 vehicles per sector. Currently, we are having only 1 vehicle per sector, and sometimes 1 vehicle is servicing 2 sectors. And I think, Deputy Minister, this one, is actually unacceptable, and I think it is important that you make an intervention yesterday and not tomorrow. We really need to address that particular issue. Higher treatment. When it is raised here, and the information is not brought to us formally, investigator. We are really requesting our communities. Yes, it is important to raise issues in a public platform or in an event like this one, but also make a follow-up with us. Usinikeze information ezoyenza ukuthi si investigate icase yakho isigebengu siboshwe. But if you don't do that, it will remain an issue that was raised at the public platform, and nothing will happen to those that are behind the crime. Whether the person uyipoisa or whether the person umuntu nje, it's important to give us information. Last, the issue of ukudlengulwa mama nabantwana, or crime committed against women and children. I think our government, particularly Gauteng government, have taken a stand. Any crime that is committed against women and children will act, and will act decisively. We'll make sure that anyone who's responsible for committing crime against abantwana nabo mama sizawudila nawe, says the show uguti, you are actually processed and be taken to prison for a very long time. And again, please don't turn a blind eye when those crimes are committed, those vulnerable groups. Let's fight a crime abantwana bethu nabo mama bayadlengulwa or baya-abuse. Singeke sibe isizwe esingakhona ukuthi sinakekele omama, sinakekele abantwana bethu. As isizwe esiqotho, we really need to make sure that we work together in making sure that that crime against children and women is dealt with. Thank you very much.
Siyabonga ku mama usizakele usazobuya after lunch usase peace and security. Ngicela ukuthi sinikezele uMMC umama uVivian Chauke aphendule imibuzo bayibhekene nokusebenza kwakamasipala. Bese ngizobuya ke ngiannounce ukuthi sibuya kanjani ukuqhubeka nohlelo. Mam Vivian Chauke.
Masibonge mphathi wohlelo. I would like first to start with the Bushle Park problem of not having a clinic. It is noted MMC of Health and Development is seated there. She will try and assist those communities and see if maybe they could assist them or a nearby area where there is a mobile clinic. She is here, she's listening. The Recher Park electricity, we are busy with that problem. We know that the Recher Park community is fighting with Slovo Park community concerning the electricity. But we will also request the community to assist us. It is true that to call out Upegi nalabantu bakhe abayi 6 mama, it won't help us very much. Because Upegi magafuga, ufanele athola abantu abayenza connection yale electricity. Then you are not showing to him ukuthi abobani. Abayi 6 kuphela labantu. I community liaison unit. Unity esnikeza intelligence as government to say kwenzakalani on the ground by 24, but then even if bangeza babonke, if wena uhlala lapho babona abantu ungabanikeza information angeke kusize. Sizocela ke ukuthi uBheki must come forward nalabantu bakhe benze sure ukuthi sizokhuluma ukuthi silungise ukuthi sihlanganisa kanjani ukuthi sithole information on the ground ukuthi abobani lamabhoza ayenza ukuthi community ilwe among themselves balokhu bathengisa electricity illegal. Then the other issue was about Maria was Ward 14. Mama, ngizocela ukuthi uye ema-ofisini wama-councillors or ubize ukhansela wakho. Uhulumeni wasekuruleni last month uthathe decision yokuthi uzorelease iland for abantu bamasonto. So mhlambe ukhansela bekangakazi okusho ku meeting ukuthi bonke abantu bamasonto abafuna iland fanele baye kulipho office bazokwazi ukuthi basizakale. Ngizocela ukuthi umama ke aye eofisini lika councillor azokwazi ukuthi asizakale ukuthi uzothunyelwa kuphi to get iland le ukhansela ugovernment wasekuruleni azoyinikeza abantu bamasonto ma. Bese ke kune informal settlement kunobhuti who was complaining to say he's a South African citizen, they are not given houses, the houses are given to SADC people. Niyabashadisa abantwana benu bhuti wami nalabantu. Bathi bangashada nabo bese kuvakasha usisi obuya eNigeria bathi usisi walo bhuti. After 4 months amakhelwane ngabusiswa la eSouth Africa uyasebenza they tell ukuthi ubhuti nosisi emini la bayacabuzana. Then makacala realize ukuthi vele akusiusisi wakhe umfazi wakhe wase Nigeria bese bayamqosha lo wase South Africa. That is how labantu bathola izindlu. So nathi singabantu base South Africa yes siyafuna umshado but fanele sibe very careful ukuthi ngalesikhathi bakulobolele mama ungamnikezi ilo identity yase South Africa uthatha inkomo zakhe but not identity yase South Africa ngoba umntana wakho uzogcina nganandawo yokuhlala. That is the problem esihlangana nayo mase sibuza ukuthi kwenzeka kanjani la enumber 12 nase 14 nase 13 kunomuntu esingamazi athi no bekashade naye after few months kwavakasha usisi wakhe at the end of the day akusiusisi wakhe igcweleke leyo nto le chief lithuli le eDaveyton bayayenza ke leyo nto leyo. Bese ke futhi enye yogcina mama abantu base Angelo MEC yilabo abareporta njalo ukuthi bayabulawa ilabantu be illegal mining. Yes, we know amaphoyisa yaya lapha imetropolis yalapha kwesinsikhathi baye neSEPS. But the problem abantu base Angelo nami bayangifonela ngabahlanganisa no chief of police. Angeke sikwazi ukuthi sigijime sifike sibamba umuntu uma nina community enibonile leyo nto yenzakala ningavuli case. Fanele uvuli case, mawuvuli case bese amaphoyisa abanamandla ukuhamba ayobamba ayokwenza arrest. Mara makungana case number kuba difficult kwenza arrest. So ku important ke ukuthi community ngalezi zinto zokuthi kukhona abantu ababulala abantu benzani bahlangane masibanikeza uchief of police ahambe nani epolice station bazon protector angeke nifike nje nithathwe nje noma kanjani. Siyacela ke ukuthi must come forward because into yakudala lento yase Angelo yokuthi every now and then kunabantu ababulakayo because of imine. I'm sure ngisikave zonke ke lezi sifune kunogogo mama ungathukutheli kakhulu. Mhlambe umama zanga vuselele indigent yakhe this year. Ngizocela nomama ukuthi ahambe aye officeini le councillor ayozwa ukuthi indigent mhlambe ivuselelekile or kanjani ngoba ivuselela on a yearly basis. And manje sey increased uhlanganisa umkholo waka mama nowaka baba uzokwazi ukuthi usizakale mama ulili angakuthatheli igesi yakho. So ngiyacela even nami la ngaphandle umama ngangibona anginikeza ama details wakhe bese mina ngizobanikeza ukhansela ofanele ukuthi asize umama. Umama ngaloku athathelwa igesi and umama angathukutheli. Umama hamba yo vote siyacela mama.
Siyabonga mamchawuke. Si uhlelo lethu luzohamba kanje. Okokuqala sicela ubhuti la okhulume ngokuthi kunosisi o missing for 2 years. Dumisile wasemaplitini. Sicela sondele ngaphambili umama usizakele malobani ufuna ukubona ukuthi kwenzakalani kulodaba lokulahleka kukadadewethu lapho. Esicelayo ke ukuthi sizo afternoon isicelo ukuthi kusaqhubeka khona ipeace and security ukuze sikwazi ukusizeka masingabi general uma kune case oyaziyo sinikeze case number nokuthi kweyiphi police station nokuthi kweyiphi indawo kanjalo kuzokwazi ukuthi kube lula ukuthi senze follow up ukwazi ukuthola neanswer. Ngithanda ukuthatha lelithuba ke sibonge mina nomhlonishwa uNyambi ukuthi nisihloniphe siqhubeke nalolu hlelo. Uma sesibuya after lunch kuzongena abanye abazoqhubha uhlelo. Ngicela ukuthi sithathe lesikhathi manje siyokwazi ukuthi sikhuphule okuya ethunjini sibuye ngo3:15. Ngiyabonga. Sibuya ngo3:15 la eholweni.
Migration has become a burning issue in the countries around the world, including South Africa. Domestic and foreign migration have become a global conversation. National Council of Provinces, Ncop, will again embark on its annual oversight program, taking Parliament to the people from the 19th to the 22nd of November 2018. Gauteng Province is the next stop where the impact of migration on deepening cooperative governance for accelerated service delivery and development will be high on the agenda. The program includes daily public hearings and concurrent site visits around the province for public participation based on different sub-themes. Ncop, being the only House of Parliament that can convene all three spheres of government, national, provincial and local, will have ministers, premiers and mayors to respond to issues relating to service delivery during these public hearings. The people of Gauteng are invited to attend the public hearings, which will be held at Alberton Civic Center in the city of Ekurhuleni. Public is invited to watch live on Parliament TV, DSTV channel 408, or live stream on YouTube channel at Parliament of RSA. For further updates on the Taking Parliament to the People program, visit on our website www.parliament.gov.za and follow us on our social accounts at Parliament of RSA. Join the conversation using the hashtag #Tpttp Gauteng or #Ncop. Make your future work better, learning from Madiba and Masisulu.